going down. You select the day, 1st to 31st, whichever you want. You select everything. You click on view. It gives you a comprehensive report of collections by that bank. It gives you a comprehensive report of the collections by all the banks. That is this menu include what? Banks. Here you see what? UBA. You know, the first one we want to select a bank. We restricted to access. You can select Stanbic separately, but this gives you a compiled report of all your collections coming from different banks. That's why here you see this first one was from UBA, this from FBN, this from what? LBIC. So if you want to view by bank, you use the other menu. You select the bank, you see the account will come up, you click, you choose the specified date you want. This will give you a comprehensive report of all the banks, Stanbic, whatever. Use the same thing within the same month. You choose the same day within the same month, or whichever period you want to. You click. So far, so good. All we've discussed. Am I making sense, please? Yes. These menus, do you need them? You are working with them. Yes. So thank you very much. Let's proceed. The other menu here says view property transaction history. Just like the lady that left here says, like the inheritance statement. With your ETCC card, I can say, okay, I want to view all the payments I've made with my on my ETCC card. You give them your payer ID. They can print all your remittance statement, all payments you've made, all taxes you've made to LASG, 2011, 2012, everything. The same thing we did for water corporation here. Somebody might be water corporation. Well, I say there was a payment I made in 2011, it was not there. Okay, let me see my payment records. This is the menu you need to check your payment record. All you need to do is to insert the property reference. I will give you extra information here because on your bill, sometimes on your bill you see that property reference are separated by hyphens. Sometimes even if the banks they remove the hyphens, they put it together because even on your master report this is not there, it still goes. So whichever way you insert the property reference, the system really recognize the number. So long you don't make a mistake with the characters. You put the hyphen, you leave space in between, you don't put the hyphen. So long the numbers, the characters are correct, the system reads and understands it. That is the way we have designed it. So once you put it here, it gives you all the payments made by this property reference from inception at ABC level. That is when they started going through port ABC. If the person had made payments before, not on ePay, the system will not capture it. Please, did you get that? Because maybe the person made payment directly to the bank, not on ePay, not through ePay. You will not see it in the transaction history. But the transaction history will contain all payments for this property that are passed through ePay. The person has been paying since 2010 through ePay, since 2005, 2001, whichever one to give you. So like this customer here, these are 5 transactions from the customer. See, everything. If it's 10, if it's 20, to give you everything. So this is the way you can view a customer report by their property reference, individual, corporate, so long as their water corporation bill payers. Should I proceed, please, or any questions so far? Now we come to this menu that says view specific bank collection. This is just similar to the other one that we view through bank accounts. It's just something similar. The same thing there, you select your bank, you select the start day and the end day, which must fall within the same month. You select the month. You click on this drop down to here, you see the list of all banks that are collecting from Lagos State Water Corporation. If you do that, you click on view, it gives you a comprehensive report, just like the other one too, but this time it restricts it to just the bank you have selected. It gives you the dates, the entry ID, this is the revenue, the deposit slip number, the assessment ref, which is your property reference code, the branch name, the payer name, the agency, and other necessary details that you need, and the amount paid, which is very, very important. So when you do this, to give you a report, everything that the bank has collected for you within that specified period that you selected. I guess it is very important for the consolidation purposes and payment tracking. Now, this is sometimes I guess you need to check just not a comprehensive report, but just like a summary of how much the bank has collected so far. Because I believe some departments need that. Sometimes you might need a comprehensive report individual. This is where you go to view specific bank collection summary. So this just gives you a summary. It removes the individual record. It sums up the total amount that the bank has collected so far within the period you specified, and it gives it to you here. It just like the other one, but the other one gives you, it breaks down all these amounts into individual payments, but this just accumulates the payment together. Okay, so you don't need to start going through the individual reports. If you want to know how much the bank has collected, you start going through, scrolling down. That will take your time, adding and adding. You just come here, view summary of how much the bank have collected. You select the bank, select the dates, put the month, you click on view. It just gives you how much the bank has collected so far. And if you now need an individual breakdown, you use the previous menu that we've seen so far. Now, this is just like the previous one too, but this is the same total collections, but not per bank now. This is what per what period. You know, the previous one before this was just what the bank has collected so far in a specific bank. This is what has entered into your account so far from various banks. That is why you don't see an option to select what bank, like the previous one where you have to select the bank to see what that particular bank has collected so far. On this menu, it gives you the total collections that have been made by various customers to various banks. It sums everything and gives you the amount here. So the same thing, you select the start day and the end day, which must fall within the same month. Can be from 1st to 20, anything between 1st and 31st. If you click on view, it sums it up. It even gives it to you here, amount details for revenue. It gives you the date you have selected here. I selected between what? This is between 1st and 9th. And it gave me what? The total amount that fell or that was paid into water corporation accounts from various banks within that particular period. The practical example. Okay. That is the thing. Whoever can log in, they log in and they do it.
All what it's saying, we are making a solution. Immediately you are being created, and I believe you must have been created to view those zones. That's exactly what you was explaining the other time. You at your level, you will not register or set up as a manager since you are still outside. You will be set up to view those zones. Those zones under you. Whereas your manager, probably for Shomolu, will be set up to see what is happening in Shomolu.
The same thing between we and the IT and T. The first page was where we upload the transactions, and this page is where the transactions are what downloaded. Like if I want to pass a report to them or they want to pass to me, they use the first page, they upload. When I come to this page, I click, I download. If you can see, these are transactions or reports of what September 2011. That's how to go see. So we've been using this thing for long. We've been having that exchange of data for long. So when we upload, they tell us, we come here, we download, we see what they've uploaded, we download. We need to, when we work on those data, we upload it to them, we tell them, they come to this place, they see it. So it's like a seamless exchange of data, no hitch, no trouble, no problem about that. So these are all the menus so far that we have made available for you. And just as my guy here said, they have been using it, they use it every day for long. And it has been working so far. So it's just like a way of reminding you that these menus are still okay, this is what they do. And if you feel that you need an access to this menu, just as it was said now, you meet with your management. They approve it, they give us your profile, we update your profile to the levels stipulated by them, then you can be able to work too. And if they restrict you to a zone and you work as you can only do what is coming into that zone. whichever level they put you, they stipulate for you the level that will be set to you at. So far so good. These are the menus and the various reportings that have been made available for you that you have been using so far. So, any question, please?
Very likely speak the mind of most of my colleagues here, because we have quite a number of people that actually came in from the field. And what is bothering them, including my good self, more, is in the area of the level of discomfort which their customers are facing in effecting payment. And I believe this will be a very good avenue to let the ABC management team be aware that this problem is still much more alive. We have live cases, especially last week, within the period of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Even at a point, I have to stop pastor by the corridor on the issue. Including my colleague that is sitting beside me here, that's the head of customer care. Because when the customer will have actually make effort at the zonal level, if they're not getting the result, the customer care that we are advertising to the states on both printing and this media, we get in touch with you. That problem is still much in place. We want that to be addressed. And also, the concept of alternative payment, which is yet to be adequately attended to, because this is a very big challenge. We have quite a number of people here that will speak more on their mind, but to summarize it, that's why I'm taking it up to initiate it. Thank you.
Let me just say something about Mr. Bankole will argue the second. Let me say something about discomfort. Please, you see, a man can collect it tomorrow. You just hear that they are not. You send this to us, 90%. Okay. Tomorrow is another bank. As we have been in the meeting, keep on sending this thing to us. Because we don't have all the facilities to say we'll be in this area, we'll be in this, we send that thing to us and we'll mail them. We won't even call them. Send it to e-banking just as we have been in the meeting. So because the bank that is working today might be to work tomorrow. It might be because the teller went out. Yes, the teller will go out. Tell the people, please, I'm coming. And they'll say, we can't do it. So these are issues that are happening. And I'm happy with this. Our server is now in cloud. There's no more issue of connectivity. Because here now, we are connected to the cloud. It's not enough data here. So if this thing is slow, it will be slow to us.
I understand the server being cloud, but better you explain it.
Yes, and coming.
Because that's what they are continuously to use.
Now, no, see, the point I'm saying is, if you say a server is in the cloud, are you getting it? It's no more because generator is down here again. Are you getting the point now? It's no more because of anything that is there. Our network, no. It's like Yahoo. Everybody can connect to Yahoo in the cloud. So that's what our server being in the cloud. So we ourselves, we're also connecting to it. Where, like Yahoo now, we're also connecting using this phone or anything to connect. So the issue of, there's power failure here, and the server went down, is no more happening. So all the banks can now connect with their various ISP to the cloud, not to Alphabet again.
Well, I asked him to take it because it seems that he know of a problem. I think our guy, Mr. Adenepo, made a very abridged summary. So I can only guess at what could have been the problem, because it's not specific. What we advise normally, I'm just giving you a general answer, maybe as you may find if it's applicable. If not, just narrow down on the specific nature. From our experience, there are various reasons why a bank may not process the transaction. For example, some of these payments may be very numerous payments of small value. And the bank may look at it, I have a crowd in my bank, I have several people waiting. These people are not my priority. Now, that is somebody very low down there that has taken that decision. Like I made reference earlier, the people on top who have a more bird's eye perspective will not be in support of that. They know the total importance of LWC to the bank. They are not looking at transactions. There are big transactions and there are small transactions. So you may see that some banks may not, or branches may not give it priority. Then we need to know which of the branches are not giving it priority. Because we want this to be a win-win situation. We know we can't do without the banks. So we are stuck with them, at least to a large extent. That means we need to prompt them to make sure they are providing us optimal services. But for all this to work as well, even if they have a system down of certain nature, they need to connect to what we call the cloud. They need internet connectivity to do that. Now, you may find that not every branch has the same level of internet connectivity or the strength of the signals are the same. That may be their own internal logistics or services provision problem. Or it may be that they have a temporary fault, which they themselves need to escalate to their head office. There may be a variety of reasons. But at a minimum, what we can say is, when that happens, we would like to know the branch, the address, and if possible, the time of the day when this occurred. Then we can immediately either send a team there, or we call their head office of the bank, or the manager of the bank, depending on if it is one which we have access to, that we have this problem, can you have a quick look at it, and let us have a feedback to see how we can resolve that. But we cannot give a general response now. But what I'll say is, we have tried to make sure that we minimize the opportunities for those errors. And one of those steps which we have taken is to, because a frequent challenge with the banks we are talking about is network problem. Meaning that when they say that, they will say, oh, alpha beta is down. But we know that for the banks to connect to alpha beta, it is only one branch of the bank that connects to alpha beta, and that is the head office. Once the head office has connected, they have hooked up, all the branches of each bank hook up to the network via their head office. What that means is, if First Bank Igomu says, we are turning bank customers, the system is not working. In those days, 6 months, 9 months down the road, then if you find that FBN Apapa is telling you that everything is going fine, that immediately tells you that there is nothing wrong with the system. That means First Bank has been able to connect. Then they must have an intra-First Bank network problem. I'm just giving you some background so that you understand what. But even those network challenges which they may have between their head office and the branches, we have tried to resolve now, like Tayo was saying. Just as you are able to connect to Yahoo from anywhere you are, you don't say because I'm in head office I'm able to connect to Yahoo. So it has also become a level playing field for that. And the way banks work, they must have internet connectivity in this day and age at every branch. So I would think that if there is a connectivity problem, it must be very temporary in nature, because nobody is doing manual banking anymore. And if it is not a connectivity problem, it may be a human problem. At times, we have told these banks, and part of the requirement is they must have at least 2 tellers to work on all Lagos State transactions, not just water. So even if they say that Water Corporation is not so big for them to have 2 tellers, Lagos State is big enough to have 2 tellers, and you can always say LWC is a part of that. So we need to have more information so that we can hit back at the bank appropriately. Because when we tell them, they will also ask various questions. And one of the first things that is done is denial. But we know that the customer has suffered, and we don't want that customer to suffer. So that's why we will appreciate the customer service can prompt them for more details of the transaction. We are not saying it is not true. We want to help them to prevent the occurrence.
Thank you, sir.
So I guess that answers the question. Okay.
My question is on the due receipt. I just want to know precisely. I'm from the zone. Occasionally, when we ask customers to come and payment, at times they do turn back with that error. The e-receipt reads another name that they cannot pay. At times it reads another address that is quite different from what is on our page. So can I know exactly what is happening?
Yes, it is not the e-receipt we're talking about, it is the payer ID. That was exactly what we were discussing before. Maybe let's use that owner occupier as an example. Now, that is why all the more why we should keep doing what enumeration and what updating. Because sometimes we find out that maybe a particular person has moved out of that place and the payer ID, the property reference is still on his profile, and I move into that place and I have the pay ID, I know how Lagos State tax system runs, how the e-pay runs. I go to the bank to make my water payment. I give you my pay ID. And now the receipt comes out and it bears the name of the former person there. Definitely, we know it doesn't affect water corporation transaction. But for auditing, for reconciliation and reference, it is very important that everything, the transaction was consummated in my name because I'm the taxpayer. So at short instance now, the customer can reject the receipt because I gave you my pay ID, the receipt comes with another name. But if we update our records very well, which we know we've been doing so far, because for like a month plus now, Mr. Solomon has always been at my office every day with some other gentleman. Now this is what we have been doing, trying to update those records so that the property reference will always be in the payer's name. As it is changing, if a customer is moving and another customer is moving, the record is what constantly updated, because that is one of the causes of that receipt or the profile coming out with another payer's name. Why is another person at the bank wanting to make the payment? So when we do that, I think that issue will solve that.
Hello. Actually, with respect to that, I will implore especially our people on the field to work much more closer with both the customer care and banking and income in that regard. Because just as he has rightly said, within the last 2-3 months, the number of properties that we've actually worked on is enormous. And I'm very sure there are still so many there. With ordinary text message from you telling me that this set of properties require PID or whatever, I take it up personally immediately, and I believe the IT&T represented by Mr. Solomon is doing a very good job in that area. It's unfortunate that we just need to work this hard to get results, because we all know that PID issue is not part of prerequisite for water corporation payment before now. But given the kind of situation we find ourselves, we will not be able to help it in as much we are out there to really serve our customers. Thank you.
I'll just add a remark. What I hear you saying is that a receipt was issued and it is not to the satisfaction of the customer. Because we have, some past years we felt that. I would not like to hear that a customer was turned back and couldn't make a payment. So we have made some progress. Now we have made some progress there. Now the importance of this is that it's like you rent a house and you want to pay your NEPA bill. The meter is in the name of the property owner, but you are a tenant. So you have the choice. Do I want to pay in the name of the landlord and know that the money is tied to the property? Or do I want to insist that it is in my very name? That is exactly what is happening. Either way, the records need to be updated accordingly.
Our question so far so good. Lastly, yes.
Please, one house, please. You can sit down.
My question is,
Please let us know your name.
my name is Mr. Shubhai Ismail. I really look for this issue of bank statements in relation with property.